Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex. Welcome to my monthly video on the best board games coming to retail. December is always a quieter month for retail releases. You know, most people are releasing games in September, October, getting ready for the holidays, and then kind of taking a break for the holidays. That doesn't mean we don't have good retail releases this month. There's just not quite as many as most months. You know, I mean, most months I'm struggling to narrow it down to like 26, 27 games, something like that. This month we have 16 games coming to retail, and as always, I hope you find something that you are excited about, that you're interested in, that you want to check out. If you haven't been watching, I'm also in the midst of my top 10 games of the year list videos. I've already put out a few of them. I've already put out my top 10 party games. I've already put out my top 10 two-player games, my top 10 family games, and there will be more to come. You know, I like to do top 10 card games because I love card games. I'll do my top cooperative games, things like that. And the reason I put them in different categories is I just think that that's more useful. If you're looking for a certain type of game, then that's the video for you to watch. And I play, you know, like 300 games a year. So I have a bunch of different games to choose from for those videos. So please check out my top 10 videos. And then, you know, it'll all culminate into my overall top 10 games of the year, just my personal favorite top 10 games of the year. So let's talk about some retail releases in December 2024. Happy holidays, everybody. First up this month, Allplay is releasing the game Prey. This is a tiny box game. You know, Allplay for a long time had boxes that were the size of this. They were small box games, and then they were like, oh, you don't think we can make smaller box games? Boom, here's our tiny box games. So they have a small box game line and now a tiny box game line, and they are quite tiny. They are like Oink Games size boxes. Prey is a trick-taking card game, plays 3 to 4 players, only 3 to 4 players, in 20 to 30 minutes, and it is a lighter weight card game. So if you are looking for a tiny box game, if you're looking for card games, if you like trick-taking, those are reasons to check out Prey. It is a 12-trick game. You are only playing through 12 tricks. Every card is sort of split in half, and they have a number and a suit on the top, and then a number and a suit on the bottom. And so you are going to be playing 6 tricks with one side of the cards, and then flipping your hand and playing 6 tricks with the other side of your card. And all of it is in service of trying to reach the amount of tricks you need to win for the game. At the start of the game, you roll a couple dice, and those are showing you how many tricks you want to win to score points. And so you are trying to win some, trying to lose some, trying to match your bid number that was randomly selected by a dice you rolled. If you like dual, use cards and stuff like that, I feel like we're seeing that in a bunch of different games, and that's interesting to go, okay, which way do I want to play my hand here, and how am I going to flip it over later? So that's the sort of central conceit of the game, is these, cards cut in half, and you're going to play some in one way and the others in the other way. Allplay is also releasing Rainbow, which is another game in their Tiny Box series. This plays 2 to 6 players in 10 to 20 minutes, and it is also a lightweight card game. This one is more of a ladder climbing game than it is a trick-taking game, where, if you play pairs, I have to play higher than that. I can play more cards, or I can play a higher value pairs. But one of the difference of this is you will always be able to play a single card. If you can't beat whatever the previous player played, you can just play a single card that is higher value as well. And then the sort of main selling point of the game, if you will, is you're doing all of this to try to then win cards in the central market. And whoever plays the highest of anything gets there to get the highest card out of the market. But then any cards that you played now go into the center and become the market for the next round. So it's about timing and sort of planning for the future, because what you're going to put in is going to go to the center and stuff like that. And so, yeah, again, it's also just very, quick playing card game. If you like card games, this one's got bright, fun artwork on it and stuff like that. So, both of these games, Prey and Rainbow, were sort of previously released in Japan. So if you look online on BGG, you'll notice that they say like reimplementations of other games. And the reason why they're in this video for me and not my new editions video that I do every month is that those games weren't really available in North America before. They didn't have a North American publisher. So Allplay is bringing those to North America for the first time and then, changing the theme a little bit, adding different artwork and stuff like that. But they are available here for the first time. Bitewing Games is releasing a few things to retail this month. First up, we'll talk about Bebop. This plays 2 to 4 players in 45 to 60 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. The theme is you're at a jazz festival, which doesn't, a little bit comes out in the game. I think if you like jazz, that maybe it'd be fun to have a jazz game, but if you don't like jazz, it's not like you're forced to listen to jazz while you play this game. And so it is mostly an area control game, but you're doing it by placing out your own little personal tiles and then putting dice into those tiles. They're almost like the tiles you're putting out are like frames. You're putting out these frames on the board. And you're doing that next to these tokens that are certain music types. A token might be a trumpet or drums or something like that. And so you are placing near the things that you want to sort of connect to and form majorities around and that sort of stuff. And then you will place one of your dice into one of the frames that you've put out there. And you can never have more than 3 of those empty frames. And then you'll get a new dice each round. And you're going to roll a dice, and it's going to be the type of music that this customer wants to see. You want to put this one near a piano because they want a piano and stuff like that. And so, yeah, you're just placing out all of this stuff, working on runs of the same color, working on area control, working on different sort of stuff like that. So if you're a fan of area control or tile placement, that might be a reason to check out Bebop. I also like dice placement stuff because there's a little bit of excitement. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to roll and where I can place it, and I got to adjust my strategy accordingly, based on what I roll. Bitewing Games is also releasing Shuffle and Swing. This plays 2 to 4 players in 40 to 80 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. Thematically, you are inspector mice and worker cats that are trying to build jazzy instruments. So there are 3 different instruments around the world, and around the board. It is a circular board, so, it's the world to these mice in this game. It is their world. This game is their world, because they don't get to leave the game because they're not real mice. And so, you are putting down, there's like, a central area that can give you actions on each of those 3 instruments. And so you'll assign one of your mice to one of those instruments, and then either place one of your dice in the instrument or activate the dice of another player that has already gone to that location previous to you. If you place your own dice, you're starting at a 1, and then you are getting the resource from placing that dice, but you're only doing like 1 build in that instrument. Whereas at the end of every turn, a dice ticks up. It can, if I do it, then it ticks up to a 2. So if I want to go and activate your dice, I don't get the resource. Instead, you get the resource, but I get to do 2 build actions in that region. I get to do 2 things because your dice pipped up to a 2. And so, it's about how do you want to do your stuff and have less power? Do you want to help somebody else but have more power in an area? Art-wise, this one looks really cool too. It looks great on the table. And those central sort of action wheels, one of the nice things as well is that they're all modular. They're all like in 4 pieces, and so every time you play the game, it's going to be a little bit of a different setup. You know, different resources are going to be in different locations and that sort of stuff. So, you know, this is I feel like Bitewing, they're releasing their music series right now. There are going to be some expansions in my expansions video for these as well, music expansions. So these are their music games. So check out Bebop and Shuffle and Swing if you like music themes. Draco Studios is releasing the game Sea Dragons. This plays 2 to 5 players in 30 to 45 minutes, and it is on that line between lightweight and medium weight game. I'm going to say it's a lighter medium weight game. This is a polyomino game, but instead of playing polyomino tiles down on the board, you are taking a polyomino card. You'll have a couple in your hand, and so you are playing a polyomino card down, and that shows you the shape that you can put your sea dragons out on the board. And so, you know, if I have a polyomino that's like this, so I can put my head here and a body piece here and a body piece here and a body piece here. And you are working on area control, and you're also you can never touch your own sea dragon to another one of your sea dragons. You can build off of other people's sea dragons, but you need to keep yours separate. And so it's just like a spatially puzzly, you know, polyomino game, but kind of a little bit different in the sense that you're not putting down an actual polyomino tile, you're putting little segments of your sea dragon body out on the board, and that, you know, that feels kind of fun and different and stuff like that. The board is divided into 4 quadrants, so you're working on control of different things. You're trying to avoid putting your sea dragons down on whirlpools because those cost more and stuff like that. And so if you like polyomino games, or if you like a sea dragon theme, you know, then check out Sea Dragons from Draco Studios. Capstone Games is releasing the game Atlantis Exodus. This plays 1 to 4 players in 90 minutes, and it is a medium plus weight game, I would say. This has a central rondelle in the middle of the board, and it's sort of a multi-layer rondelle. You know, there's boom, boom, boom. And so you can place your worker down on the spots of the rondelle and get benefits, get actions, get all that sort of stuff. One of the things you'll be doing is getting different workers, and different colored workers go over to your player board and can be upgraded and activated in different ways. Essentially, the different workers do different things for you. But then throughout the game, the rondelle will rotate. The board will literally rotate, and so you're going to be facing different quadrants and stuff like that. Different actions will be in different quadrants at different times in the game. And so, you know, you'll rotate the middle section, then you'll rotate the top section, and so everything becomes different. So that's one of the interesting aspects of the game, the sort of rotating board. And, you know, they call it an innovative rotation mechanism, and so you will constantly face changing conditions and have to keep adjusting your strategy to the different action possibilities in front of you. And so, yeah, if you like the sound of that, then check out Atlantis Exodus. Flat River Games, in association with Maestro Media, is releasing the game Hello Kitty Day at the Park. This plays 2 to 4 players in 25 to 45 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. This is meant as a family game that you can play with your kids. You know, I've watched some videos about it, and people go, oh, there really is a game here. It's not just an IP. There is an actual game here, and adults can enjoy it too, but they do say it plays ages 6 and up. So, you know, if you're looking for something for one of your younger children, then maybe Hello Kitty Day at the Park is for you. You are placing down tiles into a sort of central area and building out the park, and then moving your figure 3 spaces every turn. And you get the tokens and the benefits of every space you move through. You're going to gain different things. So you're going to get a cupcake here and a music note here and stuff like that. Things you came across in the park, adventures that you went on in the park. And then you use that stuff to fulfill cards. You know, they're sort of order cards, right? That these are different things, and you need 2 cupcakes and a music note to do this one. And so you are turning that stuff in, filling out cards, and those cards will get you points. So again, fairly simple, but introduces people to tile laying, to sort of resource management, that sort of stuff, and has, the adorable Hello Kitty artwork on top of it. And I feel like Hello Kitty has transcended generations and regions and all. Everybody knows Hello Kitty. And so, yeah, if you are looking for Hello Kitty, then, one of the weird things about Hello Kitty is that you're like, that they say that Hello Kitty is like a girl. Like they go, no, don't refer to her as a cat. It's a little person. And I'm like, but it is a cat. What? And then they go, no, you can't say that in a video or anything like that. You can't do it. And I'm like, man, that's a weird thing that you guys are putting on top of this. She looks like a cat. She's called Hello Kitty. She's a cat in my brain. Nope, she's a little girl. Okay, we're making it weirder than it has to be. All right, I digress. Next up, we have Ludonate, in association with Flat River Games, is releasing the game Arctic. This plays 2 to 4 players in 20 to 40 minutes, and it is a lighter weight card game. Though I will say, it's more unique and different and maybe a little bit more strategic than some other lighter weight card games. It's somewhat about sort of hand management and stuff like that. You are going to be placing a card down. That card will tell you how many cards you can play on the next turn. And it will also tell you how many cards you can pick up from the market row. And it will also tell you which tokens to move along this token area. And so you care about one of the tokens and you're trying to get that to the higher points and move other things down to the lower points. But if you're too obvious, then other people can move the token you care about. And when you are putting cards down, when you're building sort of your pile of cards, you want there to be like runs and sets of the same animal. So if I play down an Arctic fox and it tells me the next turn I can play 3 cards, well, ideally, I'd have 3 more Arctic foxes to put on that, because now I've got 4 Arctic foxes in a row. But maybe I only have 2 in my hand, so now I got to play 2 Arctic foxes, and then I got to put down a different animal on top of that, and then hopefully start a new run. And so, yeah, it's just like an interesting sort of, the word I've heard used multiple times about Arctic is quirky. It is a quirky card game. So if you're just looking like for a kooky game, then maybe this one is for you. And again, it plays pretty quickly and stuff, 20, 30 minutes. So if it sounds, I play a lot of games, and so I like the idea of unique games, games that don't feel like anything else out there. And, in researching this one, it definitely feels like a unique game. I cannot say if that is unique good or unique bad, but it's different, and I like that. I like when people take swings and try to do something different. So I'm interested in checking it out. Arctic from Flat River Games. Flat River Games, in association with Wonderful World Board Games, is releasing Lone Wolves. This is also sort of a re-implementation of a game called Four Clans Conflict, but that also wasn't ever really available in North America, so this is kind of the North American version, the North American release of that previous game. That previous game was an Asian game, a game that came out in the Asian market, and so they're bringing it here to North America. Lone Wolves plays 2 players only in about 15 minutes, and it is a lighter weight game. It is combining trick-taking and area control. There is going to be a board, and the board has sort of different regions, and you are playing cards down on different regions. Now, if I'm leading, I can play anything I want, and I can play it wherever I want. If you are following, you have to follow suit if you can, but you don't have to follow region. You can place into any region, and we are ultimately trying to have more power in a region than our opponent. If we do that, we get the points at the end of the game. However, if you lose a trick, then you flip over your card in that region. It becomes only worth 1 point, but you get to take a special ability token on that region. You get to take a token and slot it in, and that might get you more points. That might allow you to, play different cards. It might, combo with other stuff. So there's reasons you would want to lose tricks as well as win them. And so, it's just an interesting system about like playing tricks, dueling card game with your playing tricks, wanting to win some, wanting to lose some, and ultimately just have the most points at the end of the game. I've heard good things about Lone Wolves, and I like trick taking, so it is one I am interested in checking out. Flat River Games, in association with Wonderful World Board Games, is also releasing the game Fashion Police. This is a lightweight party game at its core, plays 2 to 6 players in about 15 minutes. You will be flipping over, or you will have a card that is a location on a mountain, at the opera, that sort of stuff. Then you will have cards that have different fashion patterns on them, different sort of prints and stuff like that. And you are going to take your frames and put them over cards to show different prints. And you want people to guess where you're at. So if I was at the mountains, like maybe I've got a jacket, maybe I've got, a scarf, maybe I've got a wool hat or something like that. Or if I was at the opera, maybe I'm dressing fancier, maybe I'm doing that. And so you're putting these frames over your fashion cards, sort of building out your outfit, and then someone else has to guess which person is at which location. Oh, that's the opera over there, that's the mountain over there, that sort of stuff. They have to match up the things. So if you're a fan of fashion, or if you like just sort of lightweight, guessing, matching type of games, that's this one. There is a few modes to play. You can play it cooperatively, you can play it competitively. There are 3 game modes in the game, and that sort of provide different experiences and that sort of stuff. So that is Fashion Police. Hachette, in association with Randolph, is releasing Very Bad Lands. Very Bad Lands plays 3 to 6 players in 20 minutes, and it is a lightweight card game. We got a lot of lightweight card games this month, things that you can bring home for the holidays and stuff like that. One note is Very Bad Lands is releasing with 2 boxes. So there is the T-Rex box and the Brachio box. So each of those boxes individually plays 3 to 6 players. However, you can combine all of the contents from the 2 boxes and then play it up to 10 players. And, the boxes are very small and only a few cards in them and stuff like that. So it is pretty easy to get both and combine them should you want to. But you don't need to. You can play them each on their own. I had a chance to demo this one at Gen Con, and it's almost like a little bit like more chaotic and somewhat strategic game of Love Letter. So if you've ever played the game Love Letter, you're going to be playing cards and you're trying to have the highest numbered card or be the last one surviving in a round, and each card you play is going to get you a special ability. So in Very Bad Lands, you will have a dinosaur. You will be a dinosaur, and that dinosaur will also get you a special ability throughout the game. You're going to take disaster cards, and everybody's going to have a disaster card. And your choices are either keep the disaster card you have, exchange it for the one shown face up in the middle of the table, or exchange it sight unseen with the player to your left. And all of those disaster cards are going to have numbers on it and special abilities. And you often want to have the highest numbered disaster card by the end of the round. However, if certain cards show up, it flips it. Now you need the lowest number. Or, now 5 to 7s are protected, and so you can't lose a life even if you're not the highest number. And so normally it's like whoever has the lowest number card out there is going to lose a life, and if you lose 3 life, you're out. But it's just about reading other people, all that sort of stuff. Who's got what can I do? There is a decent amount of luck involved just in the draw of what you get and stuff like that. But, it's a 20-minute light card game, so that doesn't bother me that much. And there are fun reveals when you reveal stuff and you're like, oh, you had that one, oh, I didn't think anybody had it, and that sort of stuff. So if you like, a little bit of chaotic card games where you're just trying to read and see what other people have and stuff like that, then you might like Very Bad Lands. Hootenanny Games is releasing the game Disco Island Escape. This plays 2 to 4 players in 15 to 30 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. Not a card game, though. This is a, not a big box game, but a medium box game for sure. Thematically, it has a wacky, wild, and fun theme. You are lemurs on an island, but, turns out that island is actually a volcano, and the volcano has erupted, and so you are lemurs trying to get to safety. But you have learned one of the best ways to keep your cool during a natural disaster is to disco boogie. And so you are crossing the lava streams by dancing and boogieing and that sort of stuff. And then you can even, if you, certain ways can allow you to flip your lemur to the other side, and now your lemur becomes even more powerful because he's a disco king, and that sort of stuff. So it's very simple and silly. And this one does play 8+. So this is certainly a family game, a game that you can play with most ages. You are going to be playing cards from your hand, and those cards will have sort of colors and symbols. And each lemur starts in the middle, and you are kind of moving them out. There are regions on the board, sections on the board, and you need certain symbols to move into sections. And so you are moving your lemurs out of the center and then trying to move them around the board to get into escape boats. But if you land on somebody else's lemur, you send them back to the start. So there is some take that, some cutthroatness to this where you are, landing and knocking people back and all that sort of stuff. So you can kind of move out as far as you want, stay as close as you want, and attack people. You can win the game by trying to avoid everybody. You can win the game by just attacking everybody. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. And so, if you can boogie your way to safety as a lemur, you can win the game. So it's got fun artwork on it. It's very bright and vibrant and that sort of stuff. So if you're looking for something to play with your kids or the whole family, then check out Disco Island Escape. Maka Games is releasing the game License to Krill. This plays 2 to 5 players in 15 to 45 minutes, and it is also a lightweight card game, but this one is different than the other because it comes in a plushie. It does not come in a box. It literally comes in a whale plushie. There is a deck of cards in this whale plushie. It's very cute, but the whale does actually serve a purpose in the game. It's not just like a storage box. When you are discarding cards in the game, you are shoving them into the whale's mouth, which I love for some reason. I'm a child, and I love putting cards into the whale's mouth. It's just dumb and silly and fun. Ultimately, you are collecting cards. Those cards are going to get you different powers and stuff like that. But then the whale is going to move around and eat people's cards. And so you don't want the whale to eat your cards. You're trying to collect krill and sort of avoid the whale. So there is some take that and stuff like that in this game, but again, it's a lightweight card game with sort of a plushie at the center. And if you like set collection and things like that, the whale is sort of a hot potato in the game, which is a fun aspect of it as well. So if you like, lightweight card games, or if you just want a new plushie in your plushie collection, well, this one's better than most plushies because it has a game inside. That's fun. Mayfair Games, in association with Mr. B Games and Pythagoras, is releasing the game Asian Tigers, A Story of Prosperity. This plays 1 to 4 players in 120 minutes, and it is a heavyweight game. If you are looking for a heavyweight game this month, this is your only option. This is our heavyweight game for December. It is a Euro game for sure. I've even heard some people describe it as a Euro game. That's how Euro it is. They wanted to say Euro multiple times. So this is a Euro game. There is economics in it. There's worker placement. you will be placing workers down into different regions and affecting sort of the economy of those regions and the what things are worth. And one of the interesting things is workers can kind of go anywhere at the start of the game, but then the markets get set, and then only certain types of workers can go to certain places as the game moves on. You're going to be building power plants, research laboratories, sponsor universities, establish factories that will produce resources with the purpose of serving local and, more importantly, international markets. So, as with any heavyweight game, there's a lot going on. I can't go into all of it right here in just a short amount of time, but, you know, that's the point of heavyweight games, is they have a lot of different mechanisms and a lot of different paths to victory and a lot of different things to wrap your head around. So if that's what you're looking for, check out Asian Tigers, A Story of Prosperity. Tavern Crawl Games is releasing the game Party Wanted. This plays 1 to 8 players in 30 to 120 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. This is a, sort of bigger group social party game. It does have a solo mode in it, so, it doesn't just have to be a bigger group game, but it is certainly a sort of party cooperative game. If you like cooperative games, this one they describe it as a fusion of deck building and roguelike gameplay. So, roguelike games, you're fighting bad guys, you're defeating bad guys, you're leveling up your characters, all that sort of stuff. And so in this game, you are going to be in the Pyramid of Chaos and having to vanquish monsters, tackle bosses, fight your way out as a unified team and sort of level up your character as you're doing it. So again, if you want a cooperative game, this one is maybe different than some cooperative games in that there are optional drinking rules in the game as well. So if you want to, make the game more adult, more social, any of that sort of stuff, you can do that with Party Wanted. So that's what I got for you this month. Thanks for always being here for these best retail releases of the month. I do it every month, and I will continue to do so. If you want to support the series, it takes a lot of work and a lot of research. I'm emailing literally hundreds and hundreds of publishers for this and keeping spreadsheets and all that sort of stuff. You can check out my Patreon if you want to support the series. Patreon.com/GrantsGameRex. As always, I hope you found something that you're excited about here in this video. Thank you so much. Happy holidays again, everybody.